Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score!
Ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
Swung out and drilled! Deep right center! Away back! Gone for Tony!
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up.
It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Awful.
How is she awful?
Hates freedom.
And now, Any Given Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Ward and Ethan Simpson.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup! Oh, blocked by James! LeBron James with the rejection!
Hello and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Any Given Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Ethan Simpson, sitting here with
Brendan Ward.
And let me tell you what, we have a deal for you this week only. Brendan, what did I just say?
This week only.
This week only. Use promo code DRAFT at checkout at kentstageposters.com and you can get 25% off of your Numbers Don't Lie t-shirt. I'm wearing it. Howie's wearing it. Brendan's wearing it. I mean, we're all wearing it.
It's a good look, man. Undeniable. Look at how he's stunting between us. He just makes us all look bad with his fly ass sitting there.
I mean, he's got the hair, he's got the visor. He's not even look. He's not even looking at it.
He's got the do. Yeah, he's too cool for us. You don't even want to look at us.
He's too cool for school.
Too cool.
I'll give him some sunglasses here in a second.
But the Numbers Don't Lie shirt is now 25% off this week only. Obviously, in celebration of Draft Week going on here in Cleveland. Where can they get the shirt though?
Howie lost his hair.
Howie
lost his rug.
He lost his wig. He lost his hat. Let's just get his wig back on there and continue with the show. There we go. Where can they get the Numbers Don't Lie shirt, my man?
Well, that would be at kentstageposters.com. That is kentstageposters.com. Brendan, where's that at?
kentstageposters.com. Just a little spelling clarifications for you. That's KENTSTAGEPOSTERS.com. And when you're there, after you go to checkout, it's DRAFT. That is draft is the promo code at checkout you need to use to get your exclusive Draft Week 25% off the Numbers Don't Lie shirts. There's only one thing that's for certain. Baker's numbers don't lie. The Browns won't be drafting a quarterback this year in the first round of the draft. We're excited about that. But moving on to the NFL draft, because it is here at the Lakefront in Cleveland. Getting on into it, we have... we're just going to go ahead real quickly and give you the order. I'll go 1 through 10. You go through 11 through 20. Okay. And then I'll go the rest. In your top 10 is Jacksonville at 1, New York Jets at 2, the San Francisco 49ers via the Houston Texans at 3, a trade we saw happen a couple weeks ago. The Atlanta Falcons picking at 4, Cincinnati Bengals at 5, the Miami Dolphins from the Philadelphia Eagles at 6, the Detroit Lions at 7, Carolina Panthers at 8, the Denver Broncos at 9, and my Dallas Cowboys rounding out the top 10.
All right, so starting at 11, you get the New York Giants, New York Football Giants. Sorry there, Boomer. At 12, you get San Francisco sent that to Philadelphia. And then at 13, you get the LA Chargers. 14, you get the Minnesota Vikings. 15, you get the New England Patriots. 16, you get the Arizona Cardinals. 17, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders. At 18, you get Miami. And then 19, you get the Washington Football Team. 20, you get the Chicago Bears. 21, the Indianapolis Colts. 22, you get the Tennessee Titans, a.k.a. the Tennessee Oilers. Or the Houston Oilers.
The Houston Oilers.
That went over to Tennessee. And then at 23, Seattle sent their pick over to the New York Giants. Or Jets, I'm sorry.
The Jets. I believe that's the Jamal Adams trade.
Yeah. And then 24, you get the Schittsburg Steelers. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Pittsburgh. Did I say Schittsburg?
Did you see what they did to the helmet already?
The Schittsburg?
Yeah, they have the big helmets downtown right now.
Oh, yeah.
They
They've
already
been covering them up with all that stuff.
Pittsburgh sucks towels and stuff like that. That's the way to go. This is our town. Moving on at number 25, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars picking once again. They got that pick from the Los Angeles Rams. And then I said Daryl. Our Cleveland Browns are picking at number 26. That's the latest I've ever seen them pick in my life, including like the couple times they picked a quarterback at pick 22.
Hey, wait 1 second. So the Browns have 2 picks. They have 26 and 27. Because the Baltimore Ravens should have never been a football team.
Right? The Ravens are the Browns, and anybody who says otherwise is just an Art Modell sympathizer. Don't put him in the Hall of Fame either. But at 28, we have the New Orleans Saints, who are entering their first year without Drew Brees at quarterback. Really, I hope they pull their head out of their ass and go ahead and make Jameis Winston their starter there.
Yes, so at 29, you have the Green Bay Packers. Hopefully they get some weapons around Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no, they'll probably pick like I don't know who played quarterback at Utah State this year.
Not Jordan Love.
Not Jordan Love, but he's already in some hot water there, so they might pick another Utah State guy.
Yeah,
it's around the same time.
Stupid. At 30, you have the Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. At 31, Kansas City sent their pick to Baltimore for when they got Orlando.
Yeah, they just traded for Orlando Brown a couple days ago.
And then at 32, my second favorite team, the Buccaneers. Super Bowl champs.
Who are Super Bowl champs and brought the entire roster back. The only person they haven't re-signed is Antonio Brown, which is kind of up in the air. They might not. So I guess we'll see there. But that's your first round in terms of 1 through 32. Just kind of wanted to give that idea. What were you telling me you had to say, my man?
We're actually going to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
And a word from our sponsors. We have a deal for you this week only. Brendan, what did I just say?
This week only.
This week only. Use promo code DRAFT at checkout at kentstageposters.com and you can get 25% off of your Numbers Don't Lie t-shirt. I'm wearing it. Howie's wearing it. Brendan's wearing it. I mean, we're all wearing it.
It's a good look, man. Undeniable.
And welcome back to Any Given Podcast. That was a fantastic ad by KentStagePosters.com. And once again, I'm just going to say what they said. Once again, 25% off this week for Numbers Don't Lie shirts. I mean, that's a steal.
Without a doubt. No lie, just a steal. Get yours. Be exclusive. Be different.
I think they're just stealing money out of Howie's pockets.
Yeah, basically, right? Just how he's going to have to count change later in life to feed himself because you already see how skinny he is.
What's going to go on? Howie can't feed himself or his little bird? His bird's not even here. The bird left.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the bird went. I mean, it has been a little colder the last few days in Ohio.
I think it went down south, yeah.
So, yeah, it might have went down south to keep warm, but it's 80 degrees today. Let's bring him back and we'll make it happen. He'll be back eventually, I'm sure.
All right, so going on, speaking of the draft, let's see who your top 10 are to go.
Okay, well, we'll start with one and we'll kind of go back and forth with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I think we can agree on one.
Yeah, one's really hard to call because it's been Trevor Lawrence for months now. No matter how we feel about him or what we think about him, he's the darling. He's the number one pick. It's pretty much one of the few we've ever came into where it was just, said and done. Last time it was like that was Andrew Luck. I feel like Myles Garrett kind of was, but like even then, the Browns were a quarterback needy team, and you thought they could go quarterback in that draft, but they went Myles Garrett instead. So kind of moving on from one, Trevor Lawrence, clear cut should be the number one pick. Number two is kind of where it starts getting a little shaky because I'm looking at Bucky Brooks right now, and he has Zach Wilson going number two to the New York Jets. I think I agree that Zach Wilson is up there in terms of those quarterbacks, but I really think all these rumors of Wilson going to the Jets and stuff like that is to try to just get people to sour on him, maybe get people to sour on Justin Fields so he can slide, maybe something like that. But I do think that at number two, for me personally, Justin Fields is going to the New York Jets.
You think Justin Fields is going to the Jets?
Yeah, I think it's all a smokescreen. I think San Francisco at 3 is going to end up being able to pick between the 3 they want available, not named Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence.
See, I was even trying to like chill out for a second, like lean back, but you really don't think that Zach Wilson isn't going to the Jets?
I think if it was anybody besides the Jets, yeah.
Okay. I mean, hey, that's your prerogative. Number 3, we're talking about San Francisco 49ers. Who do you have going there?
That's where I'm going to have Zach Wilson going. I think San Fran moved up with hopes to get him. The Jets make the pick of Justin Fields, and then Zach Wilson goes number 3.
See, that's a tough thing because, and we just lost the camera.
That's all right. Let's get into the audio, I guess, my man.
So what they've been talking about on NFL Network, ESPN, CBS Sports, any one of those, is Mac Jones and Justin Fields. What do you think about that? I would say Mac Jones. You know what? That's a tough one, actually. Now that I think about it, that's a tough one because with the offensive line and the receivers that the 49ers have, I actually think they go Justin Fields.
I mean, it definitely gives a mobile quarterback an opportunity to be able to move around and improvise and be that kind of guy. I think I would go Justin Fields too if he's not off at 2 over Mac Jones. The thing with Mac Jones is I think the only selling point on him is that he was Alabama's starting quarterback on one of the most dominant Alabama teams we've ever seen. The problem is I'm not sure I ever saw Mac Jones throw beyond 10 yards, ever. I saw him throw a lot of slant routes and a lot of flat routes and a lot of wide receiver screens and bubble screens and quick fades to that plethora of very talented receivers they had at the University of Alabama, considering that they could potentially have 2 receivers go top 10 this year. I think says a lot. Mac Jones just doesn't set the world on fire for me. I'd actually pick Trey Lance over him just because I've seen him throw beyond 50 yards. And I think he has the better raw talent, and it's going to take a while. And they've got a quarterback on the roster that they're adamant that they're staying with it in San Francisco in Jimmy Garoppolo, who could usher in or bridge the gap between himself and Trey Lance, who's not going to be an immediate starter, but definitely has the opportunity if he can sit a la kind of like Patrick Mahomes did in Kansas City, but also enter a system as stacked as Patrick Mahomes did in Kansas City, where, like you said, that defense is fairly stout. He's got weapons on the outside. That committee of running backs, when healthy, is almost unstoppable. San Fran needs a quarterback, but I think it's probably going to be Zach Wilson because I think Justin Fields goes too.
All right. Well, I completely disagree with you. And that's just a wild thing. You were saying that Mac Jones only threw slant routes and checkdowns and whatnot like that.
Did you see him throw a fade ever?
Okay. NFL quarterbacks don't need to do that. That's why you have another team around you. That's why you have the best athletes at their sport on your team.
Bro.
He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't have to throw bombs.
I'm not saying he necessarily has to all the time, but you've already got that damn guy on your roster.
Here's the thing. All right, you got Jimmy G, Porno G. What's he going to do? You know his next step is going straight to New England because Billy B is in love with him.
Okay, but I mean, that's his prerogative, like you said, right? The thing is you're going from Jimmy G, who's this guy, to Mac Jones, who's this same guy. He doesn't change your offense, not one. He doesn't make your offense dynamic. He doesn't make it dangerous. He makes it the same thing.
Look, having a gunslinger, I'm all for gunslingers. I love gunslingers. When I play Madden, I always draft gunslingers. Big, tall gunslingers, kind of just like Josh Allen. Okay, that's what I do. But when you think about it, when you're not playing a video game, when you think about it, and you're trying to run a NFL football team, you don't need gunslingers all the time. What you need is somebody who gets first downs, who makes the plays, who makes quick plays, that can run the clock down. You know, they can run up the clock, run down the clock, whatever you want to say. Somebody that can just do quick little plays, boop, 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 and just move down the field. Because if you're sitting there and you're at 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and this guy's throwing 3-yard passes, 5-yard passes, 7-yard passes, what do? And then next thing you know, it's 2 minutes left. You're at the 2-minute quarter, and these guys are in the red zone.
No, like I'm not denying the effectiveness of an offense you could have with a game manager like that. What I'm saying is you don't trade what they traded to get to 3 to pick essentially the same guy. You have that guy. What is Mac Jones bringing to the table that Jimmy G doesn't already bring to the table?
What is Justin Fields bringing to the table?
I'm not arguing that Justin Fields is the better option. What I'm saying is you don't go up to pick Mac Jones. I don't think he makes your offense dynamic. I don't think Justin Fields makes your offense dynamic because I don't think he's going to succeed in the NFL. I'm not sure there's a quarterback in this draft that I believe in unless it's Zach Wilson. I think the Jets are going to fuck up and take Justin Fields at 2. I think Zach Wilson's going to San Francisco. I think
that was my point right there. When you're talking about Justin Fields, Zach Wilson needs to go to the Jets, and the Jets need to draft O-line.
Well, yeah, in a perfect scenario. I think we're dealing with the New York Jets. We can't ever talk about a perfect scenario with them because we know who they are, right?
Yeah.
And then San Francisco, I'm not sure if Mac Jones, Trey Lance, or Justin Fields are the game changers they want in that offense. Because, yes, you can win with that game manager, but they've already got that guy on the roster. They're already paying him a significant amount of money. Why do you trade up when you could just kind of be yourself, stay at 12, get one of these top playmakers or defensive guys to help you out and be done with it? No,
because here's the thing. They're going to trade him to New England. Cam Newton is not staying there. That's a fact.
Trade him New England. That's fine.
He's not going to stay there. So Jimmy G is going back to the Patriots, where he should have been. Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft fucked up that draft. Or not draft, the trade. But he's going back to New England. That's a fact. Because Jimmy B is obsessed with Jimmy G. So he's going back there. Why not get Mac Jones, who is, have you seen the picture of him with the shirt off? He looks just like Tom Brady in his draft picture.
Just like not great.
No. And Bill Belichick will mold them together. That's what I think. All right, so moving on from that, I think everybody in America can agree on this. The Falcons at number 4 are taking Kyle Pitts, right?
The only way I don't see him taking Kyle Pitts is if they don't take this pick. That's the only way I don't see Kyle Pitts going here at 4 is if it's not the Falcons making the pick here at 4. It's just the way that boils down for me.
Here's the thing that I think about the Falcons. So I've been running this through my mind the last, month and a half since everybody's been talking about the draft. Here's the thing. All right, so what do the Falcons need? They need receivers. They're talking about trading Julio Jones. What is Matty Ice doing right now? He's an aging quarterback. What can they do next year? Why waste this 4th overall pick on a quarterback when you can wait till next season? You know what I'm going to say. You can wait till next season and get a quarterback in the 4th or 5th round out of the Kent State University Golden Flashes, who is, what's he standing at? 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'3",
220?
J-Ram just hit a home run.
Oh, there we go. There we go. You want to do it with me real fast? 1, 2, 3. Jose, 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 Jose.
That was fun.
Jose, Jose.
That was fun.
There we go, J-Ram. But speaking of the Falcons, why would you not wait and pick up one of those sleeper quarterbacks like Dustin Crum? And I know I promised I wasn't going to talk about Golden Flashes when we talk draft.
I get what you're saying. That's why I said I don't think they're picking a quarterback here. I think it's Kyle Pitts unless Atlanta trades back.
That was a perfect swing.
It was. I knew it as soon as he hit it. It was over. But that's kind of what I'm saying here at 4 is Atlanta's picking this playmaker in Kyle Pitts, who people are arguing is possibly the most exciting playmaker we've ever seen come into the NFL at the tight end position at number 4. If not, they're trading back to pick up a number of picks for, like you said, that future rebuild that they're a year or two away, considering Matt Ryan is probably where Ben Roethlisberger was 2 years ago.
Yeah. And Matt Ryan isn't bad.
Well, that's not completely fallen off the cliff yet, but...
Let me ask you a question. Who was the first and only player to win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year? You just said his name.
Matt Ryan? For real?
Yeah.
He won MVP his rookie year?
I'm pretty sure.
That's intriguing.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I was just saying, we'll have to check that out.
I'm gonna look it up while you're talking about that.
That would be pretty freaking impressive. But moving on to number 5, halfway through the top 10 that we're going to get into, the Cincinnati Bengals. Right here, Bucky Brooks has Penei Sewell out of Oregon, offensive tackle. And I'm really hard pressed to argue with that, correct? You got Joe Burrow coming off the ACL injury. You could argue maybe he needs weapons, but you could also argue that the Bengals had the worst offensive line in football. And what good is it to give him somebody to throw to if you can't have someone there to keep him off his back?
Yeah, absolutely. That's been the whole thing. A lot of people have been saying they're thinking about getting the dude from LSU because they played together and whatnot, but you got to have offensive line. I've said it a million times.
Yeah.
I've been a Browns fan my whole life. 24 years I've been a Browns fan. And we either had the best offensive line or we had the worst. Either way, we went through a carousel of like 20 quarterbacks, 22 quarterbacks. It's just not fun.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying here is Joe Burrow, you believe you've found the guy that's the answer, and you want to protect him. Ask Andrew Luck, who only played like 4 years in the league, how important it is to protect somebody like that. They waited until after he retired to have one of the best offensive lines in football.
Oh, absolutely. And look what happened. His brain was damaged because of all the hits he took.
Yeah, he was done.
So speaking of quarterbacks, I was wrong. It wasn't Rookie of the Year. It was 2016, and Matt Ryan won MVP and NFL Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, they don't.
That's what it
they don't
was.
typically do that. They give it to two separate people. I think Rodgers was the
Well,
MVP.
he also won Offensive Rookie of the Year as well, but that was in 08. This is in 16.
Rodgers won MVP this year, and Derrick Henry won Offensive Player of the Year. So that's what they try to do because the MVP is like a quarterback award.
Yeah.
So they try to give Offensive Player of the Year to the best offensive player that wasn't a quarterback, just to kind of compensate.
Yeah.
But they could call it just a MVP still and call it like the most valuable passer, and we'll be in a similar situation. What do you?
Sorry, no, I was just checking what you had on your mock draft, and I have the same thing. So at number 6, Jamar Chase to the Miami Dolphins.
Well, to me it's surprising. This one is that they called that because sure I believe that the Dolphins could go receiver, but I think you start looking at there's a couple, including both of the ones out of Alabama that are better than Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase I think fits this early if it was the Cincinnati Bengals, but if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm picking either Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I don't know what's. Do you have Jamar Chase's like his stat line, his height, his weight?
I could pull it up in just a second.
Here, I got it.
I was going to say, I guess whichever. I just kind of clicked on his name. He is 6 foot, 201 pounds. Hands are 9 5/8 inches.
And then you say 201 or 207?
201.
See, I have 207 on here, but
I mean, there's.
Everybody's weight fluctuates.
He's from Harvey, Louisiana.
Okay, and then Devontae
Devontae's
Smith
like
is 6'1", 174.
That's 174 with 20 pounds of clothes on.
Right. That's 174 wet.
Right. That's very generous considering they said he was like 159 the other day.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
And you know what? And a lot of people gain weight when they get to the NFL.
No, yeah,
Once they get to the league, they gain weight and they can get better and train.
You get on that professional training program, it's over with. You're no longer going to be a stick, bro. All I kind of hear is of the three, I'm not sure which one of the three it's going to be, but wide receiver makes sense for me for the Miami Dolphins. Other than that, you're not going to draft a running back that high because there's not one valued that high. You could argue they go defense and maybe pick Micah Parsons, but I feel like wide receiver is what they're going to want. Give Tua as many weapons as possible. Also, I mean, I guess if Cincinnati doesn't go Sewell, the Dolphins could pick him up to protect Tua as well, considering they traded Laramie Tunsil last year.
Hey, man, don't wear that gas mask, bro.
I mean, it worked out for him. He went to the Dolphins. It worked out for the Dolphins. They got him and ended up turning him into just a bunch of crap. So
when I sent you that picture last night, you were like, is that Laramie Tunsil?
Well, yeah, I was sitting there like, because the way you phrased it, you said something like, you mentioned something about someone sliding. So I was thinking like it happened again. But then I was looking and I was like, no, that's definitely the Tunsil picture.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. What draft was that? 15?
Something like that. 15, 16. It might have even been 17. He's still pretty young. But it was
when they released the picture of him wearing like the bong gas mask.
Yeah, somebody tweeted it like 5 minutes before the draft.
Right, and they posted like more pictures.
Yeah, he was.
And I remember I was watching it downstairs at the stage, and I was like it was trending on Twitter, and all these people were like, "Oh, he's gonna slide," and then he got drafted like, what was it, like 10th overall or something like that?
I mean, he still slid though. He was supposed to be top 5.
I know, but I mean, he still got drafted.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams. I mean, now it's not even a thing. You can smoke weed all the time in the NFL now. They don't even test for it anymore.
Yeah.
But kudos. I mean, just a little too late for Josh Gordon, but
Yeah.
But-
And that's one thing too. Like, dude, you're in college. Why are you taking a picture of you wearing a gas mask bong? Like, come on, man. Like, you gotta at least know a little better than that.
not even just in college, man. Like at the University of Alabama,
Yeah.
that's,
Like you're not at USC, you're not at UCLA. You're in Alabama.
That's the cream of the crop, man. That's
Alabama is where people still go like, yeah, we don't take too kindly to them dope smokers.
yeah, very, very homely and old fashioned and around them, and then it's the cream of the crop when it comes to programs. So it's unfortunate. Picking 7 is the Detroit Lions. Bucky on here put Micah Parsons at linebacker. The thing is the Lions are the Lions, and they need just about everything. They just lost Kenny Galladay. They just traded Matthew Stafford away. I know they brought in Jared Goff, but if there's one of those quarterbacks still available, they might take a flyer on them because I'm not really sure if they're sold on Jared Goff. I mean, if the Dolphins go wide receiver, the Lions go wide receiver, nobody's really gonna bat an eye. If I don't believe it's possible, but if Kyle Pitts is somehow still there, I don't think anybody bats an eye. They pick an offensive lineman that just kind of makes sense. They have Micah Parsons here, but they pick a linebacker. Makes sense. They just traded Darius Slay away to the Eagles a while ago, so a corner would make sense. The Lions pretty much need everything, so I can't really call this one, but I'll say Micah Parsons if he's available there. But also the Lions could be a very, very, very big trade option just because they need so much. They need to get draft capital more than picking very high.
Yeah, so right now I have not only my own mock draft, but I have 3 other ones from CBS Sports. And so the first one at 7, they have the Lions taking Jalen Waddle,
Wow.
a wide receiver. The other one has the Lions trading with the Broncos. So the Lions would get number 9, and the Broncos would get number 7, and they get Trey Lance. The other one I have is the Lions trading with the Patriots, and the Patriots get number 7. They get Trey Lance as well. So this is kind of a toss up in the air. It's just, this is why I really don't like waiting this long for the draft. But this is why they do it. They make you wait so long.
They make you
because it makes people like itch. Like, what is going to happen?
Sit here like, what on earth can happen? Pick number 8. Just to kind of keep this flowing. We're starting to get low on time. The Carolina Panthers are picking. They did just trade for Sam Darnold, so I'm not sure they're really going to pick a quarterback. Look just to kind of look for them to go offensive lineman. Bucky here says Rashawn Slater, but look for them to go offensive lineman. I think that makes sense. Protect Christian McCaffrey coming back from his injury. He only played like 4 games last year. Sam Darnold hasn't really had a good offensive line in front of him in New York. I don't think I'm not sure how big of a step up it is from Teddy Bridgewater, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm on CBS Sports. So the first one I have is they're taking Justin Fields at 8, but wouldn't you want to keep Bridgewater around if you are drafting Justin Fields? Because, same kind of style of quarterback, like a mobile quarterback that can run, that can throw. Wouldn't you keep him around just to teach Fields like the ropes of being in the NFL?
You could adopt that Baltimore mentality.
And then the other one I see is, again, Rashawn Slater. Like you said, I would go Rashawn Slater. Like you said, you have Christian McCaffrey, and then you also have Sam Darnold.
Sam, man.
Aaron
Did it last week, too.
I know. Always gets me in like the close names. Donald. It always gets me. But
So, Reyes just went yard too.
you say Framno? Oh,
Framno.
Jesus Christ! That was 3 from the fucking.
That was almost out of it.
That was 3 from the big screen. There we go. Pardon my French, guys, but we have the Tribe game on mute in the background, so we are watching that. Pitcher can't believe it.
He was like, I just don't.
Can't believe it. You got a 6'8" guy at the plate, and you're pitching to him. The guy that has the most power on this team.
You gave him a meatball.
Look at him.
Down
Doink.
the middle of the plate.
He knew it was gone from the second it left his hand. Boom. Oh, he watched it too.
Yeah, that was over with.
Franmil watched it. It almost hit the big screen out there.
3 or 4 rows, yeah. He was like, well, I did that. All right, but back to the NFL draft.
Okay, yes. So Sam Darnold. You have Sam Darnold, and then you have Christian McCaffrey. Why not protect those guys?
Yeah,
and why not help them get a hole and win some games? So we're moving on to pick 9. So pick 9 here on my board gets a little tricky.
Because you had that trade, right?
Yes. So number 9 would be on the first one is the Broncos, and they're taking Rashawn Slater. On the other one, it is the Lions taking Jalen Waddle. On the other one, yeah, because they moved back, but on the other one they took him at 7. This one it's saying they took him at 9, and is that gone again? Is that another home run?
Josh Naylor just went. Oh, he's foul. They call it foul.
My apologies, folks. Get a little excited here.
I think we know for future reference we're going to not be able to watch Indians games live while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, it's a little distracting. All right, what do you have at 9?
Here, Bucky says that they're taking. Bucky Brooks says they're taking J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. To me, that's just one of the few that doesn't make sense. Like you said, Rashawn Slater, if he's still there, makes sense to me for Denver. Jalen Waddle or one of those top receivers still available for Denver. Or a trade up makes sense for Denver if they want one of those quarterbacks. I believe after his rookie year, everyone thought Drew Lock might be the answer there. But since then, everyone's kind of soured on him and realized that that's just not the case.
You know who else soured on him?
John Elway?
No. The owner of the Chiefs' daughter.
Oh.
They used to date.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
When he first got drafted, they were dating.
That's kind of weird, right? You got drafted
Very
to like the
strange.
rival. You're dating the rival team's quarterback. That's Brady Quinn's sister dating AJ Hawk back in the day.
Remember when she used to wear the half jersey?
Yeah.
And when AJ Hawk would sack Brady.
Yeah.
What game was that? Was that the
Was
that
it
the
a bowl
Tostitos
game.
Bowl?
Yeah, it was a bowl game. I was gonna say because they don't ever play each other. In the
AJ
regular
Hawk could be
season.
like, "I'm fucking your sister."
Yeah, why wouldn't he? Just tell
Like
him.
in his face, like he just
Insert.
slammed you in his face, like I fuck your sister, and then they go to Thanksgiving dinner later that year.
Pass the toast, buddy. Pass the mashed potatoes. Pass the rolls. All right, but rounding out the top 10, we got the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're going to pick Patrick Surtain. The only reason I say that is because that has been unflappable. Every mock draft I've ever seen, looked at this past couple of months, it's always Alabama's cornerback, Patrick Surtain II. And I mean, undoubtedly so. The Cowboys are pretty set on offense all the way around. But defensively, 10. Defensively, they need quite a bit of help. Sean Lee just retired 2 days ago. I'm not sure that was really that big of a deal. He's been kind of in and out of the roster for the past 5 years. Jalen Smith is a very fast guy on that defense. And then you got Leighton Vander Esch to round out the linebackers. But in terms of defensive backs, they just have like a bunch of no-name guys. So to build up that defensive backs, to kind of have a defense that's just good enough to keep that offense afloat, especially when their offense is good enough to be a Super Bowl contending offense.
Yeah, so the reason why I was confused when you're like, all right, 10, we're talking Cowboys. I was looking at the CBS mock drafts, not my own, but the CBS ones. Just because those guys like to put in
Trades.
like, potential trades and stuff like that. And so the two I'm looking at are both the Patriots made a trade with the Cowboys. So that's the two that I'm looking at. That's why it threw me off.
The Patriots traded up for who?
Well, this one it says, the first one says at 10 that the Patriots take Trey Lance. The other one says they take Mac Jones.
So a quarterback, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Bucky over here, now that I'm looking at it, doesn't have Justin Fields going till pick 15 in New England. So that's kind of insane. Maybe I shouldn't have been looking at Bucky Brooks's mock draft.
Yeah,
but
you know what? Let me see actually who I'm actually looking at. All right, so I have the first one is Ryan Wilson,
all right,
and the second one is Chris Trapasso. Those are the two that I'm looking at right now.
I just
from CBS.
I just kind of pulled one up, figured I'd use it, and Bucky was the first one I saw. But now that I start looking through his stuff, he's got Jalen Waddle going 11th to the Giants and stuff like that. But let's move on in the NFL draft because we really are
Running late.
We got like
All
7
right,
minutes
yeah,
left.
Let's just
in the
let's
whole
bust
podcast.
this out real fast. All right,
So let's get Browns and then the podcast is over.
All right, cool. All right, so let's go down to Browns.
All right, so the Browns are picking at 26, as you know. Like we said earlier, kind of one of the later picks I've ever seen the Browns take in my life. Obviously, they've kind of got an offense that's pretty set. Here, Bucky Brooks has the Browns going with an edge rusher out of Washington named Joe Tryon. I haven't really heard of him, so this is kind of new to me. I know there's a very, very, very high thought that they're going to go linebacker and take the kid from Notre Dame, that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. But there's also a lot of talk that they might have to spend some money to go up and get him and jump a couple different people. But it looks like from pick 16 through the end of the first round, we're going to see really a run on defense. Corners, safeties, edges, and the unfortunate part for the Browns is that's what they need, and edge and defensive line is very thin.
Yeah, so on these two that I have, the first one says Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State, and the second one says Jeremiah. The same that you were talking about. But do we need a linebacker?
I don't know, man. I really think that Anthony Walker is going to be the guy you wanted him to come in and be. You know what I'm saying? The way everyone talks about him, he's a leader of that defense. He plays well. In this Browns defense, you don't need a guy to be over the top good. You don't need a Luke Kuechly or a Bobby Wagner in this defense. You just need a guy who is serviceable. Last year, Mac Jones kind of took a step back, or Mac Wilson, not Mac Jones, kind of took a step back and was struggling with tackling. Sione Takitaki took a step forward, but he was already so far back that it wasn't that great of a step forward. You ended up playing Andrew Sendejo, who was supposed to be like the 10th person on your roster, as like a full-time starter. It just a lot of things on that Browns defense kind of went awry. Don't expect them to be that bad. The thing is they've signed the corners, so I'm not sure they go corner in the first round. Linebacker or edge is probably their best bet, or really it wouldn't surprise me if they go offense here. I doubt they'll go tight end or running back or quarterback, but I mean, depth on the offensive line isn't terrible, especially when the offensive tackle is one of the more respected positions in this draft, and one of the deeper positions in this draft is offensive linemen and receivers. So to go those two on offense really wouldn't surprise me either for the Browns. As far as who they're picking, I'm going to say the linebacker out of Notre Dame because I think that they really like that kid, and everybody's talking about that the Browns want him, and that's where they want to go. And I think if they can really get that stalwart guy, it'd be good for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And So looking at the Browns picks that they have in 2021, I'm looking at two picks where I know we talked
Both of
about
those
not
round
saying
threes.
this.
Both of those round threes.
I'm looking at pick number 169 or pick number 211.
Okay.
They've been talking about how they need to get a special teams guy. They're looking
Why
for a
not?
wide receiver for special teams. And I think I know the perfect guy for it. I know I promised I wasn't going to say this to you, but here it goes. 6'2", coming out of New York City, New York. Actually, Brooklyn,
Yeah,
New
he from
York,
Brooklyn,
New
yeah.
York City, New York. 6'2", 200 pounds. His arms are 31 inches and 5 1/8 inches. His hands are 9 inches and 1 1/8 inches. Isaiah McCoy coming out of the Kent State University. I'm just looking for a place for this guy to go. You gotta be kidding me. Look at this. The New York native, who rated as a 3-star recruit coming out of Norcross High School in Georgia, showed promise by starting 8 of 11 contests, 42 receptions, 423 yards, averaging 10.1 yards and 3 touchdowns as a true freshman. He earned third team all-conference recognition the next season, scoring 8 times on 56 receptions, 872 yards, 15.6 yards per reception. In 11 starts, Kent State played just 4 games in 2020. In that limited number of contests, however, McCoy caught 25 passes for 455 yards, 18.2 yards per catch average, and scored 5 times for the Golden Flashes, garnering him first team All-MAC notice. McCoy returned 8 kickoffs for 139 yards, 17.4 yards per average per kickoff during his career. I mean, if those numbers, and you got to think, here's the thing. Granted, it's Kent State, smaller school, smaller conference, right?
Yeah.
But you got to remember, he was out there playing Auburn. He burned the hell out of Auburn's cornerback, who is now in the NFL. He made him look like a fool.
Yeah, I know. And he just really never got the chance to have that bust out season because they only played 4 games this year. This was the chance where you could have seen him have double-digit touchdowns, close to 1,000 yards receiving, close to 100 receptions on the year. They just played 4 games. If he'd had that full set schedule, I feel like we'd be talking about a different. You're talking 4th, 5th round. We'd be talking about 2nd, 3rd, maybe 1st. If he got a full year, I feel like we'd be talking very similar to a Corey Davis type of rise out of Western Michigan a couple years back, to where you see him go pretty high in the 1 year because he really finally got the chance to show you. Like you said, he had the first year as a freshman, didn't play that much. Second year, got into some trouble, didn't play that much. First year, got into trouble, didn't play that much. Second year, Frisco Bowl year, he plays, he shows what he could do.
Who told you about that?
You told me about it. And then this year, numbers don't lie. We're wearing the shirts right now. Kent State had one of the best offenses in all of college football.
Absolutely. I think they were second. I think they were under Alabama.
Yeah.
But I made a design which I want to get made into a shirt, and it might happen actually after the draft. It's the lightning bolt. Never underestimate McCoy.
Yeah. It's a great shirt.
Don't underestimate him. He was our first ever guest on the podcast. Great guy. But yeah, it was just this season kind of really screwed him. Because if the season was going to happen the way it happened, or not the way it happened, but if it was going to happen the way it was going to happen, they would have played. First game would have been Penn State, and he could have shown his speed, his route running ability against Penn State.
Yeah, he would have got some national recognition right away, and then people would have just started watching him throughout the whole year. Instead, he played they opened the season against three terrible teams who people really didn't even tune in to watch because it was Bowling Green, Bowling Green and Akron, and both of those teams were trash. And then once they did get on national television, they dropped a close one to Buffalo, who ended up losing in the MAC title game. But this year, look for, even without McCoy, look for the Kent State Golden Flashes to battle for the conference title, first one in over 50 years. They haven't won it since 1972. And then the first division title in nearly a decade. Last time they won that was 2012, the Dree Archer year.
Yeah, I mean, look for the Kent State Golden Flashes to do good. I mean, they have an NFL quarterback under center.
Oh yeah, and I mean
No doubt.
he's already top 20, and I told you last week, and I'll tell it on the podcast now. Name me 10 quarterbacks currently in the in college football better than Dustin Crum. You'll be hard pressed to figure it out.
You know, because before we get to this day in sports history, you watched it. I showed you that. You see Dustin Crum the last 2 seasons. He's a few inches shorter than Josh Allen.
Okay,
but he plays just like him. He has the arm like he can throw 80 yards down the goddamn field. He can run 80 yards down the field.
Honestly, the only difference is Josh Allen probably looks a little better in shorts.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Josh Allen's stomach and legs are a little more toned. That's I promise you, that's really the only difference to me.
Is that a shot at me?
No, not at all. Tone, not like muscle, not.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I was saying, is that a shot at me, dude? I got some nice little tone. I got some tone here.
No, it's just that I feel like a lot of people look at Crum and they see he's got that little muffin top thing, and so he's a bigger quarterback. So that's what I was saying. Josh Allen is a little more buff, but no knock on Crum. It helps him. It's kind of he has that running ability, and he runs people over and he bounces off of people. It's hard to bring the man down, and trust me, it is. But
I mean, he got the job over a transfer from a Power 5 conference team to start at quarterback.
and hasn't looked back since. And
hey, and I've been preaching him. I've been trying to get him on the podcast, but you know what? I think he's been way
just
too
a
focused.
quiet dude, man.
Yeah,
he's not on social media. Like he posts anytime, like the Mac posts something about him or something, then he's on, and he'll repost it on his story or something. But I promise you, he's never on.
He's working. He's grinding.
Yeah, I
he's
never
studying
see him
the
personally
playbook.
post for himself.
He's studying the playbook.
Like, he reposts like when the Mac's like, well, these are the quarterbacks to watch this year, or when he made that the watch list for the quarterback award for this year.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
He's winding and grinding.
Yeah, he's getting his job done. But I'm not sure we're gonna get too far into Kent State Golden Flashes because we could talk forever, and we're down to like our last 2 minutes. So
All right,
what do you got for me today?
It'll be real quick. We're not going to get into this, but this day in sports history, April 27th, 2017, with the first pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Myles Garrett, defensive end, Texas A&M. And they never looked back either.
And the rest is history. Like I know he was here for the bad times too, but since then we've been looking up. Everyone loves Myles. Everyone loves what we've done since then. Moving forward from that, let's go win a Super Bowl in 2021.
So speaking of Myles Garrett, with the bad times and the good times, there is a huge difference. And I know that the Indians game is on, but there's a huge difference between Myles Garrett and Francisco Lindor. Myles Garrett doesn't care about money. I mean, obviously, money's great.
No,
Everybody cares about money, but he's here to win. He wants
Myles is a different breed, bro.
He talks about how much he loves this city, and like Francisco Lindor would say that all the time, but you saw what happened. He went to New York. Now they're just booing him every time he goes up to bat. Hey, great. It's almost like a Twilight Zone episode when you sell your soul to the devil and you think you want this, and then it turns out shit. That's him in New York.
I don't feel bad, not one bit.
No.
You wanted out, you got your money. Good luck getting booed by the New York fans for the next 12 years because the Mets still suck all 12 years you're there.
Right.
Like, you chose it. I mean,
you left fans that, I'm going to say this again, but you left fans that fucking worshipped you. Goddamn Baker Mayfield shotgunned a beer. He opened it with his teeth and shotgunned it. Turned around, he was wearing your jersey, pointing at it. And you still left.
And baseball players are a different breed, man. Because you do have that just money grab. And, I mean, no knock on anybody wanting to make their money. I get it. The difference is don't love us and then hate us after you get your money. That's
saying that us calling you Frankie was lazy. Like, go fuck yourself, man.
I mean, it's all the LeBron to Miami thing was terrible, but this Lindor thing is almost worse because at least LeBron, when he did it, he didn't come out and say, "Yeah, I really just didn't like Cleveland. They called me King James. I hated that." Or some of them called me Bron. I thought that was lazy. Why can't you just say I'm LeBron James? Why couldn't they just say Francisco instead of Frankie? First of all, if somebody called you Frankie and you came undone by that or were really upset by that, say, "Hey, my name's Francisco. Can we call me that?" That's the way to go. Or I mean, now it's coming out that it's not Tyler Naquin, it's Tyler Knockin.
Yeah, something stupid like that.
Like, come on, guys. If it's,
hold on, give me 1 second, real fast. Bottom of the third, runner on second. 2 down, 2-0. I almost called him Francisco. That's why he popped out. Oh, he dropped it! And it was an error! There you go. Say, hey, Jose.
And he saved it.
And he got a double. Bottom of the third, 2 down, runner on second.
Indians
2
lead 3-2.
balls.
Let's not go into play-by-play to end our episode.
Here comes Jose. Jose pops it up. It's going out to left field. At left field, they got it. Oh, no, he drops it. A score of runs. Jose goes safely into second base. But look at that. That's rookie. That's Bush League.
Yeah, that's the stuff you see.
How do you
before.
say that you caught it in late? Like, I know exactly where Progressive Field is.
Yeah.
The sun is going over the lake right now.
Yeah.
He did not get the sun in his eyes.
Well, they called it a double. I'm surprised.
Third double this season. That was definitely an error.
We typically call it an error. But anything else you got for me, my man?
Hey, you can follow me on Twitter at ETH Simpson CGOD. You can follow me on Instagram at ETH Simpson. You can follow my main man Brendan at
Beat out Ward 52 on Instagram, BWardCLE on Twitter. Go ahead and follow the podcast at Podcast Given on Twitter. Instagram is Any Given Podcast, Facebook.com/Any Given Podcast. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to Any Given Podcast. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
God bless, stay blessed, and go Tribe.